All right, let's get into a story from ancient texts that feels like it's been ripped straight from an epic anime. We're talking loyalty, grief, and absolutely overwhelming odds. This isn't just some small skirmish, this is a full blown war between a handful of brothers and the combined armies of 7 different kings. You're not going to want to miss this. So, picture this. The whole conflict kicks off between two totally opposite worlds. On one side, you've got the House of Isaac. It's this quiet, somber place. Jacob and his sons are there, taking care of their aging father, bound together by duty. But right outside their door, a storm is gathering. 7 armies are literally assembling on the horizon, driven by old fears and simmering grudges. And it's this collision between quiet family life and this massive, growing hostility that's about to set everything off. So how do we get from tense silence to all-out war? Well, it all goes back to Jacob's family returning to a place called Shechem. Just them showing up again is enough to spook the local rulers. Word spreads like wildfire, and they basically decide we have to hit them first before they get too strong. And the guy making that call? It's him, Jasher, the king of Topneck. Now get this, he's 94 years old, but the texts describe him as this fiery monarch who still wears armor under his robes. He's proud, he's terrified of looking weak, and he cannot stand the thought of Jacob's family coming back into prominence. He is our main antagonist, and he's looking to settle an old score for good. And Jasher isn't acting alone. Oh no, he sends messengers to other heavy hitters, like Elon, Ishori, and Parathon. These aren't just minor rulers. They are seasoned, battle-hardened kings who all agree that Jacob's family is a threat that needs to be stamped out right now. Jasher's message to the other kings tells you everything you need to know. He says, "Come help me attack Jacob," just like before. That last part, that's the key. This isn't a new fight. This is round 2. For Jasher, this is his chance to finish a war he feels he should have won a long, long time ago. And the response he gets is just staggering. 7 kings answer the call. 7 armies march. They set up 7 enormous camps, forming a coalition so huge the text says they were as numerous as sand on the seashore. The odds against Jacob's family are just astronomical. It's almost impossible. So, facing this insane threat, what does Jacob do first? He doesn't grab a sword. His first move is a prayer. He stands on a hill overlooking the enemy, and he asks God not just for protection, but for raw courage and strength for his sons. You know, this moment of faith, it becomes their first and maybe their most powerful line of defense. And the response is immediate and absolutely terrifying for their enemies. Suddenly, the ground starts to shake. The sun literally darkens in the sky. And then this phantom sound fills the air, the rumble of a massive army, of countless chariots where there are none. A supernatural dread just washes over all 7 camps, a divine terror that hits them before a single arrow is fired. But here's the thing. Even a divine warning can't always overcome a king's pride. They refuse to face the shame of retreating a second time, so they hold their ground. And that is how the battle begins. Not with a massive clash of armies, but with one single audacious duel. And this really brings us to the heart of this first clash. On one side, you have the veteran King Jasher, covered head to toe in iron and brass, an expert fighter. And who steps out to meet him? Jacob's young son, Judah. I mean, how can a young man possibly go up against a seasoned king in full battle regalia? The duel that follows is just pure cinematic action. First, Judah hurls this massive stone, we're talking 60 shekels, that stuns Jasher and knocks him right off his horse. The king gets back up, furious, and his spear thrust is so powerful it shatters Judah's shield to pieces. But Judah is quicker. He dodges and strikes Jasher right at the ankles, bringing the giant down. And in the final move, Judah grabs Jasher's own spear and ends the fight. The impact of that one single victory is immediate and catastrophic for the enemy. The second their champion falls, the armies break. In the chaos that follows, Jacob's sons and their servants cut down 15,000 men. Think about that. One duel, one act of incredible courage, and a massive coalition army completely collapses. That one victory just transforms the brothers. They become this unstoppable force. The remaining kings and what's left of their armies are in a full-blown retreat, but the sons of Jacob are right behind them, their momentum carrying them from one fortified city to the next. Their chase leads them straight to the gates of Chazar, but their path is blocked. 4 of the enemy's best warriors are standing guard with swords drawn, and they are determined to make a stand. It's the first real obstacle they've faced in their pursuit. But this obstacle isn't solved with another long duel. Nope, this is about unique skill. Naphtali, who's known for his blinding speed, just rushes forward and, in a flash, takes out all 4 warriors. Just like that, the way is clear for his brothers. Okay, but their next challenge makes Chazar look easy. It's the fortress of Sartan. The texts describe this place as basically impossible to take. It's got a rampart that's 40 cubits wide. That's huge. The bridge has been removed, so there's no entrance, and the walls are lined with defenders, just yelling insults and mocking the brothers down below. And that mockery? Yeah, that was a big mistake. Fueled by this righteous anger, the brothers do something that should be impossible. They literally leap across the entire 40-cubit rampart, an incredible feat of strength and will. They start scaling the walls, and you can bet those taunts turn to terror really fast. Inside the walls, though, the fight is brutal. Simeon and Levi get cornered by these elite warriors and are almost overpowered. It looks like they're about to fail. But just then, their father, Jacob, hearing that his sons are in trouble, joins the battle himself. His arrival with a bow in hand completely shifts the momentum, saving his sons and sealing the city's fate. So with all 7 kings now dead and their most powerful cities captured, the war is basically over. The victory for Jacob's sons is so total, so overwhelming, that the other Canaanite rulers come to a very clear conclusion. We cannot win this fight. It's time to sue for peace. And this all leads to something called the Covenant of Hebron, which signals a massive power shift in the region. The sons of Jacob agree to a peace treaty. They won't interfere with the Canaanite cities. And in return, the kings agree to pay them tribute and, for all intents and purposes, become their subjects. The very people who tried to wipe them out are now under their authority. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. Yes, the war ended, and yes, there was peace. But what kind of peace was it? Was it something built on mutual respect and a new understanding? Or was it just a ceasefire born out of the absolute certainty of what would happen if they ever fought again? A moment of quiet in a land that now knew exactly who held the real power.